Hey everyone, welcome back to the EvolvedJeepin channel. My name is Dan and this is my 2019 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. For those who are new to my channel, typically what I do is I create installation videos installing new parts on this Jeep to make it bigger and better. But on today's video, I'm not going to be doing an installation. Instead, I'm going to be showing you guys a new accessory that I picked up for the Jeep. The new accessory that I'm going to be showing you guys is a vehicle cover. I basically had a company called Morhept DM me on Instagram asking me if I wanted to review their cover. At first, the only cover they had was a two-tone black and light gray cover. And I said to them, look, I'd be interested in doing this, but the cover you have is a two-toned one. And I'm not sure why you picked a light color on a cover that would go outside on a Jeep and get dirty and covered in filth. It just didn't make sense to me. And I didn't think it looked that great. So I said to them, if you had an all black one, I'd definitely be interested in that. But for now, I'm not going to go ahead and do the review on your two-tone one. So a couple months later, they actually came back to me and said, look, we have an all black one. Are you interested in doing the video? And I said, sure, why not? Send it to me. So the cover that we're going to be installing or putting on the Jeep is a cover that's designed specifically for Jeeps, and it should work on 1987 and up Jeeps. And it comes in two sizes, a 2-door and a 4-door, and it comes in two colorways. The one is the black and light gray version, and then one is an all black. These covers go for $58.99, and as usual, I'll put a link below for you to check it out. These covers are supposed to be waterproof. They have a zipper on the door. They have a lot of different features that make them a little unique. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to go ahead and install the cover, and then we're going to take a look at it together and see what our thoughts and opinions are. So let's go ahead and get that cover on. So as you can see, the cover is on, and I have to say the fit is pretty good. So before we talk about all the construction features and details about this, let's just look at the overall fit of this. You can see on the front, it has enough extra material on the front to incorporate aftermarket bumpers. I have those heavy hooks that stick out, and you can see this doesn't have an issue. There's still extra material here that if you had like a bull bar, you'd probably still have enough room to fit that underneath. As well, with larger tires, you can see the cover is able to incorporate that and allow for that extra material. It does have these built-in mirror pockets on each side. These are great when you're putting it on because that's your locator. Once you get those on, you simply just pull everything into the right place. They maybe don't fit exactly how I would like, because you can see it's here, it's a little off, and possibly the mirror is supposed to be more in here. But that might be because of the aftermarket bumper pulling on a little bit. But overall, they still work. You can see when we come around to the back as well, the back allows for the spare tire. I have a 37 on the back, so you can see it really does allow for that extra larger size spare tires. It keeps a nice tension, so water runoff will be nice and easy, and it really covers it up. There's no gaps. It's going all the way around. When you come around to this side, it just continues on. The fit's really good and everything works. As for the material's a little thinner than I thought it would be, but I think it's going to be good for storage because it's going to reduce the weight. On one side, you've got your waterproof side, and then on the inside, you've got this silver, almost like an insulation material. So it's probably going to help with keeping the temperature cooler or warmer inside the Jeep, as well as this material has like almost a soft, smooth feel. So it's probably going to help with protecting your paint and not scratching it. I have to say one thing: when you open it up, the material will be stuck together because they vacuum seal it, but once it peels apart, it doesn't seem to have any issues, and it doesn't feel cheap. It feels like it's going to do its job. For securing this in place, what they've done is they have a few things in place. They have these tie-ons here at the wheels. They have one here and one on the back wheel, and then of course they have two on the other side. The only thing I would have liked maybe about these was if they were clips instead of just two straps. You know, tying these together in knots, it's, you know, it can be annoying because if you tie it in too much of a good knot, you won't be able to get it off. And then if the weather's coming down, if it's really, you need to go fast, it'd be nice if these were just clips and you could throw them on. That would help. For the front and the back, they use an elastic, built-in elastic at the bottom rim. So this basically helps with pulling it in around the Jeep. So that's built into there to keep it in place. One thing you can see is they have built-in reflectors. I think these are very good to have. They're on all four corners of the Jeep. You have one here on the front, one on that side, and then two on the mirrors. I think these are really good because this is a black cover. So if you're parking this on the side of the street at night, it might be really hard to see if it didn't have those reflectors, but at least with those reflectors, you're going to be able to see the vehicle at night when the headlights are reflecting off it, and so nobody will hit your Jeep. One thing that this cover has and most don't is a door. So as you can see here, we have a built-in zipper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the camera down and we're going to open that, and then I'll show you how that works. So now that the door's open, you can see you can just get right into the vehicle. That's pretty handy because it gives you the ability that if you forgot something, you don't have to take the whole cover off to get in the vehicle. If you wanted to warm the vehicle up before taking the cover off, you can easily do that as well. The zipper is pretty easy. It's a simple, you know, pull down. It does have a flap on the inside, probably to help with keeping water from going through the zipper, which is very helpful that they thought of that. At the bottom, it does have one strap that goes under the vehicle, and that's right here. It has an actual clip, which makes it nice and easy, but this helps with when you're opening the door. It keeps this panel all in place so that you can do the zipper. Okay, so with this cover, one thing I wanted to check was the material and how it does with waterproof. Of course, they say it's 100% waterproof, but we might as well check to make sure. So let's pour some water on and see what it does. You can see it runs right off. It piddles a little bit, but it doesn't really stick at all. It's pretty happy to see that. Of course, I figured that's what it was going to do. And that's great to see because the point of the cover is to keep the water out. So one more thing that this cover comes with is a storage bag. I'm glad that Morph provided this because it gives you the ability to simply roll or fold up that cover, put it in the bag, and then you can easily just store this in your Jeep for when you need it. Overall, I have to say I'm pretty happy about this cover, and I definitely would recommend it, especially because it's only 60 bucks. There are covers out there that are probably more expensive, but this one definitely works and fits really well. You can see it incorporates for all the aftermarket stuff that you're adding, and it it's going to help protect the vehicle. It has a nice waterproof material. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. So I really think it's going to work if you need something like this. For myself, the reason I felt I needed this was because for a couple of reasons. First reason is I park in a parking garage, and you think, oh, well, that's not going to get in the weather or anything. Well, yes, you're right. It doesn't get hit by rain or snow, but when it's sitting in a parking garage where there's a lot of vehicles driving around, sometimes a lot of dust that gets built up from the cars moving around. And there's times where I leave my Jeep in there for a month or longer, and when I come back, it's got this thick layer of dust on it, and I really don't like that sitting on the Jeep and eating at the paint. So with this, I'll be able to put that on and protect it for when I'm not using it. Another reason that kind of relates to the parking garage is because in the summer, I want to run without my doors, but I haven't been able to do that because it's in a parking garage, and I didn't want either the Jeep filling up with dust or people coming and sitting in the Jeep. So with this cover, if I take my doors off for a long period in the summer, I'll be able to throw this cover off and no one will know the doors aren't on it, and it'll keep the dirt from getting on the interior. And then a part that goes with that is with weather. If you're running without the doors and you're in an area and you're away from home, you don't have your doors and the rain comes through, at least if I have this cover in the Jeep, I'll be able to throw it on to keep the water from getting inside the Jeep. So at this point, guys, as usual, I'll put a link below for you to be able to check this out and purchase for yourself. I do recommend it. It's a pretty good product, and it's only $60. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and share. If you have any questions about this cover or any of my other videos, feel free to post them below. And at this point, we'll see you guys on the next video.